my bestie Grace through Journey here again with you on Wednesday night. So we are here to hang out with you and chat. And today we are talking all about when you were multi-passionate. And just think that's such a good topic because anybody that has tons of passions, it's usually feels like there's two parts of you pulling at you all the time and struggling. So what do you have to say about that one?
Well, yeah, I'm guilty too. Yeah, I remember those days that, when you're early 20s and you're a young mom. I know you and I were in our early 20s, we were a young mom, and we just go, do, hustle, hustle, hustle. And we're like hyper, like with so much energy. And at the same time, you homeschool your kid, but somehow you wonder and look back, actually, if you look back, like right now, I think we did great. Like give ourselves pat in the back. Like
Yeah, I'm thinking about all those memories because Grace and I have a long history. We used to be neighbors, well, almost neighbors, and hang out so much at the lake that she lived on. And we were go-go-goers, weren't we? We
yeah,
just did all the things. And it now at this stage in life, I think that there is some goodness in starting to get a focus on, okay, we've had the children, we've basically raised the children now. It's kind of our time to decide, you know, maybe you're a mom, maybe you're a sister, a wife, you've put your joy and everything into your children and your husband and your life or whatever that is for you. And you've put your kind of dreams in life on the back burner.
yeah,
And because we did a lot of things, but we were not doing all of the things that we truly in our heart wanted to do, right? We've had talks about this
yeah. And
and
sometimes you do lose yourself, right? In it too.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You lose yourself in that motherhood stage a lot of times. And not even almost like you're doing the day-to-day things just so routinely that you don't even notice that you're lost in that. You know what I mean?
No, it's like a blur. Like, oh, I remember with in my case, it's like, did I get this thing done? Tick off, tick, 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 right? Like, tick it off from your list, and you feel better. But then, what is the most important thing? I didn't even think of that was me, like my time for myself, like just how to be, right? Just be. And then though someone gave me an advice, and it hit home for me, and it says, and if you are watching this and this is for you and you're a busybody, badass woman, badass mother, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. Don't lose that. It's just that sometimes you need to be gentle with yourself. And that
Yes.
hit home. Gentle. Like, how do I be gentle with myself? Like, I'm not used to that. Like, I mean, sure, you and I, like you said, you mentioned like we both like a go-getter, like we're so creative. And I think one of those things is like I never wrote what I was so creative about. I just expressed them on paintings because I do paint too, and one of them is behind there, and I just express those. And sometimes it feels like it's not enough, but when is enough, right? Enough is enough.
There's never enough. You never hit that plateau of, oh, I made it. This is enough. Like that's just not it's
Mhm.
just not realistic, right?
No.
There's no, I'm enough.
Yeah.
And we just struggle through, like there's so many amazing things. Let's just say there's so many amazing things about being multi-passionate and being super creative and having all the ideas. But with that comes overwhelm.
Mm-hmm. And
And that
stress.
is where a lot of people get tripped up. Both
Yeah.
of us, I'm sure, included, myself for sure included, like it. And, but to me, I see the ideas as gifts. They're not
Mm.
like, because a lot of people will say, I have too many. I don't know what to do. There's just, I wish I wouldn't have so many. Don't ever wish you wouldn't have so many. Be excited that you have all these amazing ideas and gifts, because there's people who go through life and don't have any, say, I never have ideas. I'm always struggling for ideas. So just be so thankful if that's you and you have the ideas. Now you just have to deal with usually the overwhelm.
The overwhelm. I mean, remember the feeling of being stressed, like followed by anxiety, and then you overthink it, and therefore it feels overwhelming. Because when I was stressed, I actually developed some breast lumps in both breasts, right? So two here and one there. And that was in when I was like I think 33. So I went for surgery to remove it. And then the doctor said, you better learn how to control your stress. What are you doing at home? So I gave her what I was doing, like, oh, I was doing this, doing that, doing this and that, without going so much details, and she's right. And then many years later, 10 years later, she told me it's gonna grow back again if you don't learn to control your stress. And it
Wow.
grew back again. Yeah. So I currently I have one lump growing. It's good. What the good news about it is benign, but I still need to learn how to control my stress. And by knowing how to control and regulate your stress, I mean your emotion, regulate your emotion is get to know what get to connect with your emotions. And yeah, and it's hard because sometimes we're so afraid of our emotions that it's like shadow work, right? I think you've been there yourself, like we're going through so much pain, but every pain is different for everybody, but the lesson is the same. Are we being gentle with ourselves, right?
Yes. Yeah. And are you putting yourself first, or are you putting yourself last? Is a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother question.
I mean, for I remember I couldn't even talk about that when I was a young mom because I was taught putting yourself first was selfish.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yes.
too.
Yeah, totally. Yes, because your job and your duty is to take care of your husband. And I'm just speaking from my
Yeah.
family's beliefs.
Mhm.
Um, Take care of your husband and take care of your children and do this and do that for them and have dinner ready when he comes home from work, and have the kids'
Yeah.
lunches packed for school, and be doing homework with them, and be doing, all the homemaker style things. Plus, in this day and age, I mean, unless you're super blessed, usually the husband and the wife are both working now. It's
Mm,
not the same as when my grandma,
yeah.
her day where her husband would go to work, my grandfather, and she would stay home, and that would be enough to survive on. Now
Yeah.
things are so expensive and everything is so much more money that a lot of times both parents have to work. And so then managing your stress and everything is even more difficult.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so true. And I mean, for some people, it's not breast lumps. It can be like tumors growing elsewhere, or a headache, or a pain somewhere in your body. It just appears differently, whichever is the weakest spot in your body. And that's when, it's stress is targeting that. But I know, Angela, like, let's discuss about what are the tools that we can help these wonderful, amazing women and mothers, single or not, or working full time at the same time, you may be homeschooling your kids. Like, what are the tools that we can help them, like the way we did, that without losing ourselves, that we can help them to structure their patterns mindfully, like the mindset of how to get things done, even though you're so passionate to get one project done, or maybe two, or just do you have any tools to share with them too, or because I can share mine later on.
well, I think that for me, I was always so passionate about so many things that I would juggle all of those household things and family things, but I would still be doing all these little things on the side and having all these little side hustles and businesses and crafts and animals and teaching at 4-H club and all of these things that I used to do. And so I would just like sneak those things in on the side, knowing that, hey, I'm here. I still have all these things that I love to do, and I'm just going to try and do little bits here. And I remember having the farm and making soap and having all the things,
Yeah.
all the creative stuff that I was doing, and going to all the craft fairs and booking all these events and juggling all this stuff. And I think that now when I look at it, it was just me trying to have my true self still hanging on to that,
Mm-hmm.
because I had all these passions that I didn't know where to do. So I would do them all. And so I think that it's really, first, like I said before, cherish the fact that you have the ideas and treat them like a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, know that when the overwhelm comes, it's normal, and that maybe depending on what season of life that you're in right now also depends on which things you want to do. But at this age now, I finally realized over the last few years that what is so important is to trust my intuition on what thing I want to do and go all in on that thing.
Nice.
Try and give yourself a little bit of a, I don't know what you would call it, like a, don't take in so much other information. Don't take in so much other research. Focus in on the what you want to do, the
Yeah.
thing that you're doing, and just those other ideas that you have, write them down. They're not going to go anywhere. Write them down,
Yeah.
save them for a rainy day, and when your
Like that.
intuition strikes and that's
Yeah.
what you're meant to work on, you can go to that. But if you just kind of narrow down and focus on one thing for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
it can really help you with your overwhelm,
Yeah.
because we're constantly being fed so much information from all over the internet. And then we're looking up this and we're looking up that and we're trying to figure out this. And well, I don't know enough. And if I knew more, I'd do this. So I better take this course. I better read that. And I better go be a blogger and a writer and a this and a
Yeah.
artist and, start a business. And
I mean, we did all
well,
that, right?
yeah. So focusing in on kind
Mm-hmm.
of where you're going and then letting the intuitional hits
Mm-hmm.
guide you as to what you're working on. That is what I'm really focusing on right now. What about you?
I love that. That's so beautiful and on point, Angela, on point. Yeah, so I'm gonna enhance and or add something on that because you said everything is really, everything is good in there. And yeah, for me, the one of the number one thing that I promise myself by being gentle with myself just before everyone wakes up, or if you're a single mom like me, because all my kids are adults, they're no longer living here. So I would wake up, give myself 10 to 15 minutes before I put my feet on the floor, and I would meditate first. And just feeling
Mm.
that because you are in an alpha state of mind or wave of frequency at that time, it's like you're just about to wake up. So when you're just about to wake up, just stay there. Don't get up so quickly and, you know,
That's
have
an excellent
shock your
idea.
head and shock your body, right? So yeah, it is. It's an excellent. It's just 15 minutes, all you need. That if you wake up earlier than that, don't set your alarm in a, weird sound, just a gentle sound that to wake you up. So yeah, 15 minutes meditation. Then when you put your feet on the ground, you say something to yourself like, "I am now walking on my golden path." My golden
Ooh,
path. Yeah. So it's
ooh, I
into
like that.
mood, right? And because everything is emotion. Emotion to me it simply means energy in motion. So everything moves, nothing stops. So even we're sleeping, our mind's still constantly moving. and thinking, but we don't remember them, but we are at rest, but we're still thinking and thinking, and sometimes we remember them through dreams. So that's just a small, simple step. And then when you eat as well, don't put, this is, sometimes I have my phone with me, but I try even today, I did my best to put it away and just look at my food, feel the spices in what kind of spices did you put in there, or if someone cooks for you, just guess what kind of spice that they put there, and you get to taste it, and it's like it's a part of self-respect. And then so
Yes,
that
I
you're
like
not
it.
rushed to go back and do your work, or project. Because if all you could think is project, and you brought that to when you're eating or when you're sleeping or you're about to wake up, it's like, when are you gonna have a break? When are you gonna be gentle with your mind? Because the mind, it doesn't know when to stop. The heart knows when to tell you to stop, but if the mind listens to the heart, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love that morning meditation idea because sometimes I lay there and your first instinct is to grab your phone and see what's going on today.
yeah,
And sometimes I lay there and sometimes I do that, which I isn't the best thing to do for me either. And sometimes I just wake up and I go, oh, thank you. Like, thank you to my body for waking up because I just kind of thank my heart that it's still beating
yeah,
because I guess if for most of you guys that don't know, I've had a heart transplant. And so I have someone else's heart. And when you have someone else's heart, you think totally different. And I don't know what the feeling is. It's hard to describe, but um, there's this feeling that you're just so full of gratitude that when you wake up that and I try to feel that first before I get up, but sometimes I go into the mindset or I just jump out of bed, but I really have been trying to make a better effort to just go into that mode. It's easy to do when you go to bed not feeling that great, and then you wake up and
yeah,
then of course you feel that right away. Oh, I'm still alive. And it's a scary feeling. And most people don't ever think about that. They don't even notice themselves breathing. They don't treasure their heart. They don't, because I was one of them. You just go about your daily life not expecting yourself to be breathing and your heart's beating, and you're not even aware of that.
yeah,
What if it wasn't?
yeah,
And so
yeah. I
I love
mean,
that morning thing is really
thank
good to
you.
meditate. So what do you meditate on in the morning? What do you think about?
Well, the first thing I think about is, what are the three things I'm grateful for, or even just five things, right? Like first, yeah, like you said, be thankful of your whole body that is functioning, not no problem. So I say to myself, I'm grateful for my healthiest version of me, meaning it's
Mm.
already here, not in the future. Don't say, I wish my healthiest version of me will come true. You just say it like it's already done. I'm grateful for the healthiest version of me. And then I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my car. So whenever I get into my car, I talk to my car like, hello, how are you doing? Like, say thank you for getting me to work, to the grocery, and then come back home safely.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that one.
yeah,
I
and
should do
because they're
that to
living all the,
mine.
yeah,
She would
I
love me a lot more. Oh, that's funny.
yeah, it is. But at the same time, it just adds up on, because everything is chemical. Like I said, emotion has chemicals in your cells, and your cell carries those memories. And I don't want to go too scientific with that one, but it's true, because that's memories can either be empowering or disempowering. And then it affects on your passion on how to do your projects. Because it's not always about doing, it's learning how to create your beingness. Are you that being, that healthiest version of you? But when are you going to be that? You know, do you want it in the future, or you can bend reality right now and start being it and live it and smell like it, think like it, feel like it, and live like it? Yeah.
So On the topic of, since we're talking about being passionate about so many things, how do you keep yourself from getting overwhelmed? Because I know you're like me and you have a million ideas. So what do you do with all your ideas?
What did I do as I get older and have more experience now? I question myself first. Number one is ask yourself powerful question, because if you don't ask yourself powerful question, you get stupid answers. So you don't, and so powerful question get powerful answers. So it was hard questions like why am I doing this? What for and who for? Am I pleasing someone else, or is it really for me? Is it good for my health? But does it bring value to that person? Because sometimes you have to do projects that is valuable for that person or clients. It's not about you, but you're good at it, right?
Yeah.
So what I did, okay, I don't like it, but I'm good at it. I have passion about it, but it brings value to that person. That's why I get paid to do this. Yeah, so those are one thing is asking yourself powerful question. The next thing that I did was start structuring my time. Like, huh? Because time is the best asset that you have. Never mind
Yes.
money. You can make money, and money is replaceable, but time isn't.
Hmm.
So, like I said, time with me is first like meditation in the morning, and then that's when I go in. Because since I don't eat breakfast, I intermittent fasting. Again, you have to take care of your body first, and your soul, your body, then everything else follows, which is your projects. And then that clarity comes in, the clarity in your mind comes in when you have a clear head first thing in the morning when you meditate, because you're clear and you're making space and room for new beginnings, because every day is a new beginning. So what are you going to create? Because everything is about creation, and how much passion you put in there is how you take care of your body, what you put in your body. Do you even exercise? Even just 15 minutes a day is more than
Yes.
enough.
I
Yeah.
love that. Okay. So then once you have the idea that you're going to work on, how do you structure your day? Give us an example of like, so
Uh,
you're not wasting time, like you said.
Yeah, I always structure my day. I gave myself deadlines, and one of them that works was it's called SMART. SMART is I think
Oh,
within
like SMART goals?
the SMART goals, you know that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I know
SMART goals.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I did those SMART goals, but then somebody told me like, don't do so much of SMART goals, just because I became so addicted to when I did a SMART goals. I became so addicted with another passion, and another passion of projects, and then to the point like, when is the deadline, right? I got excited with it, and I got bored a little bit. Then
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
and
it.
then the next, like,
Yeah,
what
you
is
get
the
bored or you have another idea and you think, oh, what if I go in this direction?
deadline? Yeah, so the most important, like I said, is time. Is making priority, like which one is the most important here is, make time for the most important one. And like you said, you mentioned before that the arrest, just write them in a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that if you make sure that what you're passionate about, sorry, not making sure, but after you have these ideas and you have this list and you're confused on what you want to work on, I think it's super beneficial to make sure that which ones actually align with your values, because you might have all these ideas and things that they just are great ideas of sparks of information and ideas, but they're not actually aligned with where you're going in life or like they might be a totally different direction. And that's where sometimes you got to wrangle ourselves in and make sure that what are my values? Is this actually something that's going to contribute to my life in some way and it aligns with everything that I believe in that's true to me and
Yeah.
I'll feel really good about doing. And again, like you said, not because I'm going to do this idea because it sounds good and everyone on the internet's doing this thing, or Joe Joe is on TikTok doing that, so I should do that. You know, it might not be the thing
Yeah,
for you, and you have to almost know yourself
yeah,
and the direction of where you're going. And sometimes it can also be beneficial to kind of do a massive brain dump and just get all of those ideas out of your head and look at them and kind of prioritize what you actually want to do and what doesn't even align with you. Get rid of those and then kind of figure out which one you're going to focus on first, which one really feels that. And that's where I use my intuition to kind of be like, ooh, this one feels so good. I want to
yeah.
do this one. That's the one to do, not the one that just because somebody else says that this is the way, this is the one, or this one makes money, or this one is what's all over YouTube or whatever.
I went through that with my ex, like money, money, money here, money, money, money there. To what extent that you lose the marriage, you lose the relationship, right? Like, so it has to be harmonized with, like you said, intuition. What feels good? Because those things are irreplaceable. Because if because we were taught differently from the past, like you have to go, 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 hustle, hustle, but you forget how to live, how to breathe, how to dream again, or how, and going through your, passion means like go follow your heart, go follow what feels good, because what feels good doesn't lead you to stress, because some people invite stress naturally but without even them knowing it. But then they wonder, why am I so stressed? Why am I in the hospital? It's because you invited it, and that's hard swallow to that's a hard pill to swallow, because it's you now pointing fingers back at you. No longer you need to blame the system or other outside of things that outside of you, but you're the one with having that realization that you're the one who allowed these things not to get things done because you allowed stress. Too many stress comes in the disguise of one more project, one more project, one more project, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah. And
feels,
that was the story of my life
yeah,
before was one more project, got to do this, got to do that. And a lot of it was because my husband worked in another province and he was away all the time. And I was kind of the mom and the dad.
yeah.
And I was trying to be the do it all and do all the projects. And my body finally was like, no, you're pushing me too hard. And I'd have so much pain. And I would just tell myself, just push through it, just push through it. The only way to get ahead in life is through hard work. Just push through it. And that was something that was, conditioned into me from generational thinking and patterns, right? And so that was just keep going and push yourself until my body completely gave out. And that was the first time I was flown to
Now
Vancouver
I
on a
remember
jet
that.
when getting my back surgery because I worked so physically hard for so long and juggled so many things. And so I agree that it is a hard pill to swallow sometimes when your body collapses and you have to realize that you did not listen to it.
Yeah.
It was really brutal.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was
Yeah.
hard to watch you. Go in pain, and then we were still butchering your turkeys together.
Oh,
We
it
had
was
fun at the same
terrible.
time, but I was
Yeah.
worried about.
And yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
picking your passion project is really important instead of trying to do it all at one time.
mm,
Doing it all at one time just was an overburden to my physical body and mind. Because with your body in so much pain, you're in chronic pain, your mind isn't there for your children. My mind wasn't there for my projects. My mind was when you're in chronic pain all the time, that's all you can think about. And yet I still remember feeling like just push through it. It'll go away. It'll get better. And I just had to figure it out the hardest way possible.
I think I think for most of us, like we learn the hard way, and the pain is so painful. That's when human beings learn. their lessons, but we don't have to because life is a choice, right? Suffering is a choice, and so is healing. And yeah, and we need to learn to listen to our body. When the body starts giving us signals through pain, that means you need to be gentle with yourself. And sometimes you pay the price, and sometimes it can be too late, and other times you still have a chance to make it through. Listen to your body, because the emotions in your body is just, your body is overwhelmed. It's like, enough, enough. It's screaming
Yeah.
at you. Like, you can have your shoulder is aching, your neck or whatever, or your arms or your fingers are shaking. Like, where are they? And then people label that in the hospital, and then you start believing that. Now you have to be careful with your belief, because if you don't, be gentle with yourself and doing all this project all at once, who are you trying to prove? Who are trying to please? you know
Yeah.
yeah, so it's hard. It all goes back to you. So in order for you to actually chunk it down, I can mention that smart means, if you guys are asking what that stands for, is SMART. um S it stands for be specific. And M, do you know, remember what M is?
Oh, I don't know because I don't follow that thing. It's too rigid for me. I find that those are like those super structured, rigid stuff. I just,
Yeah. Yeah,
I like it at
so
first.
I
At
wanna
first,
mention it here because it's good for a moment, because, and then at the same time, it's not really the main thing. It's about intuition. You go back to your intuition. So specific, measured,
oh,
and
measurable,
measurable, and
measurable.
then I think adaptable. See, I even forget. And then
I
R
don't
is
remember anymore
yeah,
because,
whatever. And T is time bound. Like, yeah, but yeah, I remember writing that in one of my self-help book, but then I decided to pull it out because, like, you know what? I'm not following this anymore, because it's like you said, it's rigid. It's like linear. You have to do this, you have to do that. It's like I'm going back to square one. Like, who am I to why am I like, like, I'm just a doing being instead of a being person, like a
yeah,
being. I'm a
yeah,
being, not a doing. But so we
yeah.
become slaves to our projects. Sometimes you have to ask your project, and this is what I want to share with you guys. Ask ask ourselves, what is this project a prison to me?
Ooh,
It's just
yes, because
making
you
me
know
a
what?
prison.
You're allowed to give yourself permission to change and change your mind.
Yeah, before you start, is this a prison, or giving me peace? Because
Or even in the middle of it, you have the opportunity to start again, to change your mind at any time that you want. You don't have to
yeah,
believe that you have to continue with something if it doesn't feel right or aligned
and don't feel like
anymore.
you're a failure. It's just an experience. At least you learned your lesson. Take it as an experience, then you
Oh,
can reach out.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I've done a million times. I've stopped and started projects, and I've learned something from every single one. It's not a failure. It's actually amazing step because I wouldn't have learned all the things I learned if I didn't try the things. So how would I know what I really love and what I'm truly
yeah,
passionate about if I don't actually try a bunch of things that, I'm like get halfway through and I'm like, you know what, this isn't for me, or I get all the way through and don't complete something. Like that doesn't mean that you're a failure in any way. And to me, that is powerful learning
yeah,
tool
yeah. There's that
because
song.
then you can get back to what you're truly good at.
Yeah,
And you're good at something and because you get in that flow. You get in that flow
yeah.
where you are excited to get up in the morning.
Hawaiian.
Can't wait. You don't want to go to bed at night because you're thinking about the thing and working on something. Like, have you ever had a painting where you're so into it, or a drawing or a project that of it could be anything that you're just so excited for? You just want to stay up all night and finish it and work on things. Like, then okay, I'm following my intuition on this one.
Yeah,
I
I
would
love it. I
in
love
that
it.
flow mode, nothing can stop you.
Yeah, I love it, because intuition is actually your soul speaking to you, which is your authenticity. if you have to sacrifice your authenticity on your versus your relationship with your family or your projects, let's focus on your project first. We're not gonna talk about the family thing because we're talking about passion here and projects, right? So if you sacrifice your authenticity, which is who you truly are, your healthiest version of yourself, over the project, then what good are you to the society to contribute solutions without you? Because you lost yourself, because you will lose yourself. So never sacrifice your authenticity over a project, but let your authenticity master who you are so you can now master your project with clarity in mind and the emotional fitness to handle the situation, the energy behind that, and the psychology behind that, behind the intention of your project. And therefore, you walk in every room like God sent you there, like God sent you there, like, hey, this is my presentation of my project. Let's do it. Let's conquer the world. Yeah.
Yes, let's conquer the world is right. Women, we can do it. We can conquer it. And you know what I love is that we have been, what we talked about in the beginning, moms and sisters and aunties and wives and friends and everything. And we're going to talk about this on another episode because
Yes.
I want to talk about sisterhood and how important
Yeah.
that is.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
holding other women close and supporting them and not having
Mhm.
a competitive spirit towards them,
Yeah.
which has been so heavily
Yeah.
in my life and my world and the world, with each other. And I don't mean my life as I'm competitive with others, but everybody, the way that women get along. Anyway, that's off topic. I want to dig
You
deep.
can
We're going to
introduce.
talk about that in one of our next episodes. But um I got totally
Oh
sidetracked.
no,
I
I
don't
think it's
even
good
know
to
what I'm
introduce.
talking about.
I think it's great to introduce about it so that people can come next time, and we would love for you guys feedback about that too. What else you want us to talk about for next time? What she mentioned, like, do you have any input with that? Can you relate with that? And also today's topic about passionate about your project. Like, where are you at right now? Tell us about that. Where are you at? Where are you feeling? Is there any guilt in there, or is there any sense of freedom, or are you hungry how to free yourself from certain things of those projects? Because nothing is too late, like Angela said. Like, don't feel any guilt, or it's not a failure. You can start
No, in
again.
fact, it's the opposite, I believe. It's learning experience because yeah, there's a saying that you have to fail to, I don't even know what it is, but your
Yeah, I
your
know what you
every
mean.
failure is not a failure. It's just such an amazing learning device and experience. So use it to whatever benefit that you can. But where I was going with that is just that we put everybody else first, our families, our life, our mother, being a sister, being an auntie, all that kind of stuff.
Or
We
being a
put
dad.
everybody else first for so long that a lot of times we have to make time for loving ourselves, giving ourselves time to figure out what we want to do and what our big dreams and goals and visions for our life is. And sometimes this is the best time in your life to do it is after you've raised your children and you've given all that love to them. And there's a time and a season for everything, right? Like to
Yeah.
be that wonderful mothering time so you don't miss out all of your baby's steps because you're so focused on something else. And there's so much treasure in being able to be a stay-at-home mom. I know a lot of women can't, and I it's sad if you can't and you want to be. It's hard because you feel that need to provide for the family. And I totally understand that because I always juggled both.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but eventually you're going to put yourself first when you get a little bit older and realize Well, hopefully you are. That's why we're here talking about it. But hopefully you are. And that is why you're going to just decide on what is it that you want so badly that you've been putting on that back burner that's been like sizzling there for 20 years that you want to like, what is your passion project? What is it? And how can you get started on that? Like, what baby step could you take today to start making the very first step towards that? Like, think of what that could be. Maybe it's just looking something up on the internet. Maybe it's calling somebody for some advice. Maybe it's just, talking to a friend about your idea and going back and forth and getting some feedback, just
Yeah,
picking something to get started and make your dream come true too, because you've
exactly.
been an amazing mother and wife or all this stuff your whole life. And it's your time to shine. Like,
That's right. It's
take
your
it,
time to shine,
take it.
and yeah,
Trust me,
exactly.
you don't know how long you have, and every day is such a gift. So
Hmm.
it's it's not about forgetting everything in your life and it's all about me now. It's not about that. It's about just putting yourself into the picture more and allowing yourself that space and that grace to kind of think about where you really want to go and what your future holds.
Exactly. And don't forget to date yourself too.
Do what?
To date yourself as well, meaning,
Date yourself. Okay, I like that.
spoil yourself. You don't always have to wait for if you have a husband, and for single people, don't wait for someone to treat you right, to spoil you. Go out there, go in a restaurant by yourself and buy yourself dinner or buy yourself flowers. For me, I bought myself plants of roses. So I planted them so I don't
Oh,
have to buy roses anymore.
yeah, I love
Like,
that.
why not? Right? Yeah. So don't forget to also like praise yourself, like, yeah, apart from doing the project, because without you, who's gonna run the project, right? Who's gonna run this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe you just need to take yourself out, like Grace said, what a great idea. Like take yourself out for a meal by yourself one night, a dinner, or go out for coffee alone and just sit there and just really think about yourself and where your future, what you wanted for yourself
Yeah.
in the future, where you want to travel, maybe. Maybe it's where you want to go on your next adventure. Maybe it's what you want to create something. Maybe it's a business you want to start. Whatever that is, take some time for yourself and think about that thing. I
Yeah.
love that. Buy yourself some flowers and
Or buy some dress for yourself, but don't overspend something that you will break the bank. That's the most important
yeah, we're
thing.
not talking about doing things that make you feel terrible after, just
Yeah.
things to brighten your spirit and give you that motivation or inspiration to just be able to dream.
Yeah. Dream again, love again, and dance again. Voice it out. Yeah, write it down. Just write it down. And you'll never know, your journal will turn into a guideline for somebody who's going through what you're going through, you know. Like Angela, she's been writing a lot, and her journal, I think you should show them one of your journals. And yeah, it's amazing what her creativity turned into books and books and books, and you can find them now on Amazon too.
Oh, oh, the last one you mean? Okay.
Yeah, and those are great examples because
Okay.
I just sharing them about your what you went through, and then you turn your ideas into book. If you want to learn to monetize your idea, look at her
Yeah,
emotional
this is
first
the
journal.
emotional first aid journal for women. And I came up with this
Mhm.
because when I used to work at a transition house, women would come in and ask for something to write in and get their thoughts out. And they said, don't you guys have any like people that help with like, because usually they provide counselors and things like that.
Yeah,
But don't you have people that could like help me with like um getting all this stress and ideas out of my head and what I'm going to do and need help to cope just to get through that immediate hard stuff. And so that's why I came up with this. And it's just,
yeah,
yeah, you can find it on Amazon and it's a guidebook. It's like a workbook and a journal in one. So Yeah,
Beautiful.
you can find that.
Yes, isn't it? So that is just a one great example, setting an example to other women and empowering other women. You can do the same. Just focus one is okay. Just one.
Yeah, this was a passion project.
Yeah.
And it only came to fruition because I was so passionate about the thing that I could get to completion, because other times we can start things that and then just not finish them. And it doesn't mean that you weren't passionate about the thing all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be, but other times life just gets in the way,
Mm-hmm.
but
Get back on the saddle, man. Get back
yeah,
on
that
the
and because
saddle.
that's what you're doing with your book right now, because you're writing a book too.
Yeah, I am writing my book.
Actually, you're revising it, aren't you?
I'm
Your
revising it
original?
again, and then I gave myself a deadline, and it's on my memoir, and it's for season one because I have season two, and this season one will be released in the fall. So stay tuned for that, and I'm excited about it. And I can't talk so much about it in detail. I will have a surprise later on about that because even myself, I can't contain my excitement. I just dance it away because, so I just focus on that one thing, and that one thing, which is my main passion, is writing this memoir, and it has guidelines there as well, thriving in any crisis. That's what we talk about, this main thing about sisterhood, motherhood, and our child, the child in us, right? So yeah, without further ado, I think, yeah, just stay tuned about that surprise later on in the fall. And I'm also now opening a workshop live here in Vancouver Island in the fall as well. So that's another
Oh
project.
yeah, you just tell us all about what are you doing?
This one is about the main topic is, are you hungry for true love? It can be a true love for your partner, it can be true love for yourself, it can be a true love to your children. It's like a parent children relationship. It can be a true love for your career, and it can be a true love for your, or a life partner. So is that my turn? Okay.
So relationship, like a
Yeah,
relationship workshop?
relationship. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait I hope that I can come virtually.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Like I will try someone to do it virtually. I can also do it virtually too. Like I can do it in a different time, and that's possible as well. You're giving me great idea. This is what I love about Angela. She's got so many ideas. I was like, oh man, I
Aw,
can do
thanks.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a million ideas, but I'm only one person, and that's what we have to remember is that, you can only act on so many. So share all your ideas with everybody else so that
Yeah.
they can do them too. Yeah, but okay, well, that was super fun. I guess that we should wrap it up. We've been chatting for like 45 minutes, 50
More
minutes
than
about this, probably because the topic is so exciting and
it
we're
is.
just so
Yeah,
passionate about
I
passionate
love it. We can have
projects.
part
I
two
mean,
though.
it's
So
because we have so many, and I
yeah,
think we just
that's why we need to
can't
write
do
more
it. We can't
books.
even do them all. Yeah,
We need to
but
write more.
wrangle yourself in, pick something that you're dreaming about, think of the big vision. Like Grace said, take yourself out for dinner or a coffee and think about what you want for yourself and what project
Mhm.
aligns with your core values and
Yes.
is authentic to who
Yeah.
you truly are,
Yeah.
and work on that thing first, because the one that you're working on, the one that aligns with you and feels so authentic to you, and your intuition brought it to you, you
Mhm.
will bring it to the end, just like I did with that book, because you're just so passionate about it. And sometimes, you know what, a smaller project is easier to finish than a big, huge, taking something just massive on. Sometimes it's nice to have a break and do a smaller project in between. But if you're like me, you have a million things happening at one time, and you just got to pick somewhere to begin. Don't let all your ideas go to waste, but don't try and do them all at your same time and then beat yourself up because you can't finish them all. I think that's the big takeaway is cherish your ideas. They're a gift. They're gifts to you. Some people are not like, don't have ideas, and they have to ask other people for ideas. And so if you're just someone who just naturally has a million ideas, just be grateful and just be so thankful and cherish every moment and every breath when you wake up. I love your other advice on meditating in the morning. I think
Mm.
that's really important, and that I'm going to try hard on instill that into my mornings before I get up, because
Okay, let me
I
know.
jump out of bed, grab your phone, go to get a coffee, and like V-line it for the coffee pot. Like that's me. So I'm going to, although I only drink decaf, you guys, because of my heart. I'm not allowed caffeine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, but I still like my coffee. So, but I'm going to really try that, your technique of meditating in the morning,
Yeah.
so that, you know what, it'll help me figure out my whole day and what I got to
Mhm.
do that day and kind of make a little map for myself. So
Yeah,
that's super helpful.
yeah. It's like saying, dear younger me, because every day you grow older than yesterday, so you're gonna say, dear younger me.
Your younger me. Yeah, and you guys don't forget, this life we have right now, this isn't a warm-up round.
No.
This is it. We have one life.
Mm.
So put yourself in the driver's seat and don't forget to put yourself first. And put yourself, well, you don't always have to be first, but put yourself into the picture and give yourself some care enough to you value your own dreams and visions and include yourself in all of your life that you're creating for yourself. So anyway, thanks so much for chatting with me again. And we will be back same time, same place, 7 o'clock Zoom and on YouTube Live next Wednesday.
Yay.
So bye, friends. Have a wonderful
Bye.
week and we will talk soon. Bye, Grace.
Bye, Angela. Thank you.
Bye. Have a great night.